guys, welcome back to the Cyrus Fiene Team channel. My name is Cyrus, and today we're going to be talking all about sewer scopes. Today, when buying a home, it's pretty common knowledge that you need to have a whole home inspection, but not a lot of people know that you will most likely also need to get the sewer inspected as well. And this is a separate inspection from the whole home inspection, although some inspectors are able to do both, but you do have to request that sewer inspection. And the reason that we always tell our buyers to get it done if you're responsible for the sewer is because sewer repairs can be quite costly. A small repair can cost anywhere from a couple of $1,000s to a big repair costing $25,000 or potentially even more. And because the sewer's underground, it's not something that you're able to look at and see with your own eye, which is why it's so important to hire a professional before you consider purchasing any home. So you may be wondering, if everything's underground, how do they actually inspect the sewer? And it's pretty cool. They have a camera that's attached to a line, and what they do is they feed it from the home all the way down to the city main, and they take a video while they're doing it so they can show you and walk you through everything that they found. And the reason that they take the camera all the way down to the city line is because in King County, you're responsible for your sewer line all the way up until it hits the city line. In some counties, it's a little bit different. Some counties, it ends at the end of your property line. It's really important to talk to your realtor and your sewer inspector to know what you are responsible for. Now, let's chat about what sewer lines are even made of. So let's go through some of the things that your inspector is going to talk to you about when you have your sewer inspection done. So they're going to tell you what your sewer line is made of. And it's important to know this so that you know of any potential issues that might come up in the future because of the material your sewer line is made out of. So here in Washington, we have a lot of older homes that are built in the early 1900s, and a pretty common sewer line material that you'll find is cast iron. And while cast iron is really strong, it does tend to rust and decay faster than other materials. So there is a big risk of corrosion there, and that's something that you absolutely need to keep an eye out for. Another material you'll find in older homes is clay. Now, clay is a very porous material, so you might find leaks, cracks, or even tree roots that have come through the line. In the 1970s, we started to move away from these materials in our construction, so a lot of really common materials you'll see this day are concrete lines. And again, those can get things like cracks or tree roots coming through, as well as PVC and ABS materials. And you'll typically see this in really new construction these days. And they are just a white or black thin plastic that they use for your sewer line. And while you still may see some issues with these materials, tree roots, cracks, things like that, it's not nearly as common as these older materials that were used, like the clay and the cast iron. Okay, so now you know your material. Now let's talk about what are the most common issues with sewers. Okay, so now you have a better idea of what your sewer line is actually made out of and what that means. Now let's talk about what are some of the most common issues you'll see with a sewer inspection. Okay, so something you want to look out for is tree roots coming into the line, and they literally grow through the pipe and enter the line itself. And this could cause leaks or cracking. And not only that, but if they get big enough, they can cause a blockage in your sewer line. And obviously you're not gonna want a blockage in your line because once it's blocked, it starts to back up, and that's when you get sewage backups into your home. So I know that sounds crazy and detrimental, and it can be, but it could also be as easy as a fix as getting the line jetted, hydrojetted. And so what that means is they take water and they basically just shoot it through the line at very high speed and very high pressure, and it actually breaks up all those roots. So it could be that easy of a fix, but of course you're gonna wanna talk to your inspector because they know your individual situation and they know the best way to go about fixing it. One of the next biggest issues that we see is offsets in the line. And this can happen at any point if the ground moves or possibly after the line got built. There's just a variety of reasons that this can happen. But basically an offset is where you have two joints in the line, and over time they just shift. And it could be a small shift that doesn't really do a whole lot. If you have, good enough pressure going down the line, it could never cause an issue. Or if it's a big enough shift in the line, it could actually start to cause materials to build up in that area And again, it could eventually cause a blockage and a sewage backup into the home. Another issue that your inspector may point out is bellies in the line. So when you have a sewer line, just like I was talking about with the offsets, you want a good slope and speed to your line. So ideally at the top of the home, the sewer line is going to go down at a grade until it hits the city line. And this is just going to keep everything moving along. But what a belly in the line is somewhere along that slope, it dips more so than in other spots. And again, if it's bad enough, that can cause a blockage in the line, and it's just really not ideal. And lastly, a few other issues to look out for is corrosion, cracks, or leaks in the line. And again, you'll see this a lot with older materials, but you can also see this with new materials as well. So that's just a little bit of insight into some of the things that we very commonly see. Of course, that's not absolutely everything, and the severity of them really depends on the line, the sewer line itself. So that's something that your inspector is going to walk you through and educate you on when you're getting your sewer inspection done. So I wanted to chat about a couple of misconceptions that buyers tend to have and you just want to be cautious of. And a lot of the times when buyers are purchasing new construction, it's, believed that it is a brand new home, so it's going to have a brand new sewer line, and you don't really need to have the home inspected or the sewer line inspected because it's all new. It should be good, right? Wrong. Unfortunately, that's not always true. So while the pipes in the home and, leading out of the home, the first few feet might be brand new, more often than not, this home was built on an older lot where there's a pre-existing sewer line. And builders, rather than completely rip up the sewer line and build a new sewer, because that is extremely costly, they will feed their new sewer line into the old pre-existing sewer line. And again, if it's an older home, that existing sewer line might be clay, it might be cast iron, and you don't really know what's going on in there. So it is so important, even with new construction, that you are having the sewer inspected and scoped. So fairly recently, our team ran into this issue where the builder had relined the sewer line. And what they do is they take a material and they blow it up inside the line and they cure it and it hardens. And it's basically a new sewer line that is inside of that older sewer line. So it's kind of layered. But in theory, that basically just creates a brand new sewer line with the structure of that old sewer line. So everything should be good, right? Well, when we had it inspected, things were looking pretty good. The first few feet was all brand new line, and then it fed into the older line, but we could tell that it had been relined. But unfortunately, about 90 feet into the line, there was a major offset and something had shifted, and it was actually creating a buildup of materials at that offset and eventually would have led to a big issue for my clients. And our sewer inspector was estimating that it could be anywhere from, who knows, like a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 fix all the way up to a $15,000 fix, depending on if they needed to rip up the actual sidewalk to fix this issue. And thankfully, we were able to negotiate with the builder to where they actually fixed the line for us. So this is something that now my clients don't even have to worry about. Going back to new construction and sewer scopes. So what if the home is entirely brand new construction? It's on a brand new lot that there was no home ever, and it's entirely a new sewer line. Well, we recommend having it inspected. Another one of our clients was buying completely brand new construction, and that meant the sewer line was brand new as well. But unfortunately, when they had the sewer line dug up after they installed it and they were backfilling it, something went wrong and it actually broke the sewer line. And thankfully, it was inspected and we were able to have that fixed for our clients. Otherwise, that would have been such a huge headache after they moved in. So always, always, always get a sewer inspection if it applies to you. And you'll notice that I say if it applies to you because you don't always necessarily need a sewer inspection. Some instances where you don't need a sewer inspection is in a condominium building. And this is because that is a common element that is completely taken care of by the HOA. So there's really no point with inspecting it because the HOA and your HOA dues are going to take care of that. And lastly, the other instance where you don't need your sewer inspected is if you have a septic system. If you are buying a home that has a septic system, that is the responsibility of the seller to get it inspected and cleaned out before you actually purchase the home. So thankfully, no need to worry about that there. So that just about wraps up this video on sewer inspections and sewer scopes. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to us, send us a DM, or drop a comment below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for joining. I'll see you next time. Bye.